What's good fellas, welcome back to another Rugby League Live 4 career rebuild video as the West Tigers. As you can already tell by now, we're taking a break from the regular season and we are in the first game of the Origin series. Before we jump into the action, we're going to be doing something a little different here as we take a look at both squads, starting with New South Wales. So from 1 to 17, in the back 5 they have James Tedesco, Josh Mansour, Jared Croker, Jack Bird and Brett Morris. In the halves they have Jimmy Maloney and Adam Reynolds. In the front row they have Jimmy Tamo, Robbie Farah and Andrew Fafita, who was also the captain. In the back row they have Tyson Frizzell, Wade Graham and Trent Merrin. And finally on the bench, rounding off the 17, we have Junior Polo, Josh Jackson, Josh Dugan and Boyd Cordner. A pretty interesting lineup. There isn't really any shock selections. The only shock thing about it is that Andrew Fafita is the captain. Other than that, it's a pretty decent team. As we take a look at who I chose for the Maroons. So I went with a pretty generic team. One thing to note is that this will be the last Origin series for Billy Slater, Jonathan Thurston, Cooper Cronk and Cameron Smith. Since we get to choose the 25-man squad, I think it would be cool to try and usher in the next generation of Maroons players. Also, another thing to note is that we did have a few players unavailable. GI was actually suspended and Josh Maguire and Jake Granville, they were injured. So from 1 to 17, my Queensland side is Billy Slater, Dane Gagai, Darius Boyd, Will Chambers and Valentine Holmes in the back 5. In the halves we have of course Jonathan Thurston and Cooper Cronk. In the front row we have Matt Scott, Cameron Smith who was captain and Dylan Napa. And in the back row we have Gavin Cooper, Matt Gillett and Jared Wallace at lock. On the bench rounding off our 17, we have Cameron Munster, Cohen Hess, Josh Papali and Patrick Galfusi. So that wraps up my Origin squad. I was tempted to try Oates at lock and keep Wallace on the bench, but I opted to go with Wallace starting and I brought in Patrick Galfusi, who I reckon when fit and healthy is an absolute gun. Alright, our first Origin game in career mode on Rugby League Live 4. And it should be an interesting match here as we get started in attack. Receiving the kick, we're looking for a forward as we give it to Napa, and he gets completely lifted in the first tackle of the game, loses the ball forward. A massive error off the bat as they quickly shift it to Tedesco, and he's gonna score the first point of the game. That's probably the worst start you could possibly get to an Origin campaign. As we look at the try once again, and it's our West Tigers fullback James Tedesco. He steps his way past 2 defenders and scores the 4-pointer. Back with Maloney to convert, and yeah, I don't know how we lost that straight away. It was a great tackle nonetheless by their captain that forced an error. Back of the Blues here as Merrin makes a little break and he's going to get cleaned up at the back by Slater. On the 4th now for the Blues as they shift it to Merrin, who regathers the little falcon and he's going to zigzag his way past Billy Slater to score their second try of the game fairly early on in the match. We definitely need to take a closer look at that just to see what actually happened. Now as you can see here, they shift it to Graham, comes off his head, regathers it and he turns Slater inside out and just beelines straight for the posts. So a fairly unconventional yet effective way to break the line by the AI. As Maloney converts, and the worst start to an Origin ever is gonna continue. So back with the Blues as they attack our line, and it's gonna be Josh Dugan it is getting wrapped up. A short ball to Reynolds, finds Graham, and he's gonna power his way inside our 10. The attack by the Blues has been A1 to start the match, as they try to quickly shift it down this blind side. They almost get the try, but it was Dane Gagai I think that showed up in D, shoveled him into touch, and we're going to get the scrum feed here as we hold the pass out with Slater, throw it wide to Chambers, and there's a lot of room to move here. No way we're going to break away as we get wrapped up on their 40. We've got Holmes slotting in at dummy half as he sends it to Wallace, breaks the line, and it's a massive run as he powers his way towards their 20. As you can see there on the field already is Cameron Munster for a tired Cameron Smith as he goes on a nice little run there. So the 5th and last, Thurston sends it to the skies, Boyd on the chase, as he leaps above Morris to come down with the ball and score our first point of the match. Looking at the replay here, and the kick was way too deep, but luckily for us, as we look at the contest, Darius Boyd comes down with it. Man, I know I keep saying this, but the contested catches look so good in this game. As we take the shot off JT, wind blowing to the right, so we kick into the wind, and we get the 2 points, trailing by 6 as we head into the break. Taking a look at the halftime match stats, and it's a super dominant first half performance by the Blues. We had one decent set in that half, and it was that set off the back of the scrum, where we worked our way up for that try. Other than that, everything else has been pretty terrible. Our biggest letdown would be those 3 errors, with only 2 from 5 sets completed. As we get into the second half here, and it's going to be Robbie Farah going on a nice break, just tearing our ruck apart. Second tackle, they throw the inside ball to Tedesco, who gets around 1, and he tries to juke Slater at the back, but we get the ankle tap to stop the try. As they quickly shift it here, this time it's Jack Bird, who steps his way past 3 defenders to score their 3rd try of the game. There was nothing I could do in that situation there. If they're going to step you, the AI is going to step you. And as you can see here, he steps past 3 defenders and eventually crosses the chalk for their 3rd try. Another great try by the AI. As Maloney adds the extras, and they're going to go up by 12 points, 44 minutes into the game. Alright, so about 55 or so minutes in, we're back with New South Wales as we put a nice shot on there. Cameron Smith, of all people, had eyes only for Trent Merrin as he gets completely leveled and loses the ball. Puts us in a decent position here to score some points as we get wrapped up. Back on the 3rd here as we go to Hess, and he's going to get driven back in the tackle. 4th tackle with Cronk to the left, Thurston to the right. We go to Cronk. He goes flat to Chambers and another flat ball out to Holmes, and we're going to sneak into the corner for our 2nd try of the game. Some pretty nice direct running and flat cutout passing that eventually found Holmes on the wing, and he just sneaks into the corner. As you can see, I don't know why they're sending it up to the video ref, but we're going to get the green lights regardless. Back with Thurston with another tough kick as we take the shot from the sideline, and it's good for 2 points and gets us within 6. So can we mount a comeback and put the game into golden point extra time? Dan Gagai with a nice return here. So inside our 30, we're going to go short to Gillette, who gets through 1 tackle and takes it past the 40. 2nd tackle, we go to Munster, back inside to Thurston, through a massive gap, gets around the fullback as we race away here, but we're going to get pulled down by 2 defenders. 3rd tackle, we go to Munster, and we almost lose the ball there. Gavin Cooper. On the 4th, we go to Cronk here, a flat-footed Cronk who gets the ball out to Chambers, and it's going to be the last play of the game. Cooper Cronk, standing in the pocket, puts up a bomb and hits a terrible kick, absolutely no distance, and that's going to be the end of the game as we fail to come back. Man, I initially thought after all those points are pouring in that we were going to get blown out, but it actually turned out to be a pretty dope game. We almost came back in the end to force extra time, but ultimately I don't think we deserved that win. We were dominated for most of the game, and yeah, I guess the better team won. I like the way this little post-game cutscene is looking right now. First time seeing this version of it, as both teams embrace a hyped up Blues team as you'd expect after a victory. As we look at the full-time match stats, and it's going to be Robbie Farah getting man of the match, makes his return to the Origin Arena. As always, drop that like button for more content. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you later.
I've been in the gym so long, I cannot do no wrong. I've been in the gym so long, I cannot